I don't see myself. Simon, are you there? My audio is not working. It's installing my stupid.
Where I stopped working there because of a health reason, and then took this on as a career, and it just has grown.
Excellent. Excellent. So you are a healer, and a lot of people like to use the term psychic, which is a sweeping generalization that covers a whole lot of different extrasensory areas. So, what, I guess, if you want to try to explain your specific talents and abilities.
Well, I'm a medium, so I can I communicate with spirit. So I see them, mostly in my mind, but I have very physical experiences with spirit as well,
Mm-hmm.
where I can interact with them and they will manipulate my body. So I hear them as well. All my senses are working when I'm communicating to spirit. So, I can smell, I can feel. I'm also able to, see. I guess I'm medically intuitive. I see inside people's bodies, so I see cells and organs and stuff like that. I have no medical training, so I'm kind of generalizing when I'm describing what I'm seeing. But I've had 4 doctors come to me for sessions, and they have all reassured me that I'm accurate, even though I have no idea what I'm talking about. So yeah, that's the truth. I'm not a doctor. I don't give medical advice. I just happen to be able to see images cellular and anatomical images when I'm working, and I see change occur in there as well.
Okay.
I can tap into past life stuff as well. I see past life images very clearly.
Now, on the past life side of things, that does have a big impact, doesn't it, on people's current well-being and life? And
well, yeah, I think it's all relevant. I've had a very big experience, initially once I started meditating, and seeing images from past lives, very graphic, was like watching blockbuster movies for me. I had a lot of marks come up on my body, bruising and pain and a lot of other experiences. So yeah, there's definitely a connection there. I don't think it is quite the karmic debt that some people may be sharing. I don't think we're tied into that as strongly as what people think, but there's links there. Mm-hmm. If someone has a back injury in a past life, it's relevant to the back injury they have now.
Right.
My guides kind of talk me through that. I'm attracting that information. I don't see it as the cause of the information. We bring everything back to the present life. Like, we got to keep it now, mm-hmm. But I see it, like I see illnesses in past lives that are relevant. And so we're just changing vibration and frequency. Okay. And part of that process when we're working in the present is we're also looking at the past as well. So, yeah, I mean, it's a big factor, and also people are interested, people are curious, and it's gives them great insight into themselves.
Right. Now, you're coming to the U.S. In just a couple of weeks, and you're going to start in California on the West Coast. Why don't you tell everybody where you're going to be? And you're going to be in the South Bay area of San Francisco, I think, right towards Los Gatos, or
yeah, that's right. I'm in Mountain View.
Okay.
I'm doing a free event at the East West Bookshop. So if you go onto their website and just go to their event page and then click on March, you'll see the details there. So yeah, I'm doing a presentation there one evening, and then I'm doing a couple of days of bookings. East West Bookshop is taking the bookings and organising all that. Okay. So look, I'm kind of, I'm looking forward to doing that, just meeting new people and presenting in a different way, and presenting at a bookshop is something I've not done in Australia. So, but there'll be people just ask me questions. I'll be, we'll do a couple of readings. We'll talk about the healing side of what I do. I'm very passionate about that, obviously. So that's something that's really big at events. People also will receive healing at the event too. It just switches on, The last event I did last week, there was a lady that turned up. She had a shoulder injury. She came up to me after the event and just said, look, thanks. My shoulder's fine. I don't have any more pain. It's not something I was consciously aware of, but I just know it's happening during an event. So
yeah. I mean, I know when we speak at times, I can sort of get this warming sensation. So I know, and you helped after my accident in 2011 when I broke my hip and my arm. So my doctors were rather surprised at how quickly I recovered, and I attribute that to your assistance and help. So thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's funny how that unfolds. Because I'm really honest about what I do, and I think you need to be. You have to, because sometimes I'm unsuccessful, and people need to understand that. My percentages are pretty high for getting a result or a partial response with somebody. Mm-hmm. But some clients come to see me and there's no noticeable change. Another client will come to see me with the same illness or the same injury and have an immediate response, so it'll disappear within hours.
Do you think anything as far as our own ability or belief has an impact, or do you think it's more to do with if it's something genetic? I mean, if there's a DNA issue that, you really can't necessarily heal it because it's genetic, versus an illness or some sort of a foreign body.
Well, straight off, I mean, my guides always tell me that I can heal everything. And then, of course, the frustrated thing with that is when you don't. So you kind of, how do you make reason or sense of that? But I think there's a lot of factors there. I think if there's a genetic issue with the family, then you're looking at healing generations of energy or generations of vibratory, frequencies. But we can get it. We can still get a response. I mean, I've helped with genetic illnesses, but I can't say I've actually, completely 100% cured a genetic illness. Mm-hmm. But as far as belief systems go, I actually get my best results with skeptics. The thing I like about skeptics is they tell me the truth. They tell me that what I do is rubbish, and they turn up. That's all we need. And I think there's a really big factor in that. I think you have to be, completely honest. And come on, I was a farmer before I was a plumber, so I'm pretty regular and down to earth. So I just think honesty is a really good thing to bring to the table.
Yeah.
For myself as well, but for the clients as well. I don't mind if you don't believe in what I do, and neither does Spirit. We just want you to be completely transparent and honest about that. Interestingly enough, I mostly get my worst responses with people who actually believe in what I do. So other mediums or psychics or healers, they bring all their stuff to the table, and they won't switch it off. And I think it interferes. It's just all a wonderful mystery. The more I think I know, or the less something will come up that kind of throws that out. But it's just there's a lot of factors there.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm typing in the link right now for everybody for the East West Bookstore in California. So anybody who wants that, it's in the chat right now. Mountain View is actually right next to where I grew up. I grew up in Palo Alto. So you're going to a very lovely part of the country. Probably a whole lot of stress out there. So hopefully.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Look, I'm just looking forward to it. It's interesting. I've been to North America before, and you have a really interesting, I guess, frequency there. I mean, every community or every nation has a different frequency to deal with. And I first noticed that many years ago when I had a Filipino girl come to me for a healing.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the Philippines is very independent. They've had a lot of conflict there. They have a lot of poverty there as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's been divided, and there's been a lot of they had to fight for their independence. So you find that. So immediately when she came on the healing table, you're straight into that. So you can taste that and feel it in your body.
Yeah.
And then I suddenly realized that this is a cultural thing that we're dealing with as well. But you folks over there are a bit of a mystery to me, I got to tell you. But I'm looking forward to having fun.
Well, the tendency towards the sort of disingenuous nature of the American psyche. Is that what you mean? Say one thing, do another, believe another completely.
Well, yeah. I mean, I got to be very careful here. I'm trying to make friends, not put people off, But,
well, those were my words.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if I'm going to be completely honest, and I got to put a disclaimer there. I've met, obviously, I have a lot of respect for you. I've met a lot of amazing people in Canada and the States and that, but I think there's kind of a lack of personal responsibility there, more so than there is in Australia. I think in Australia the personal responsibility issue is kind of a little bit, I guess, more blokey, or there's more. They kind of to take the piss out of everything or joke around. I think when I'll go to the US, I think the personal responsibility thing's a big thing. And if I've offended anybody,
there's a sense of
look, if I've offended everybody, look, I'm sorry. I'll just Spirit kind of calls it as we see it. But I think personal responsibility is a great thing for everybody.
Yeah,
for the whole world. Like we all got to just stop and say, hey, we did this stuff. Let's fix it.
Mm-hmm. Can we fix it? That's the question.
Well, we can. Seriously, we can. And this is, I mean, my whole career has been about hope and faith, and I see these things that are just considered miracles happen, and
right.
And I really got to emphasize just how regular I am. Like that's the most crazy thing about this. Doesn't matter what I see in spirit or who I'm talking to. Like I'm just a regular guy. I've been married and separated, and I've had drama in my life, and I've had very real jobs, and hard physical laboring jobs, and then now I'm doing this crazy stuff. I mean, if right there it says we can fix it, it says we can change. If it can happen to someone as regular as me, it can happen to everybody. It's not it's not an exclusive club. Like everybody can get on board this, and we can just change. We can be kind to each other for a start. It'd be great.
Yeah, no, I agree with you completely. Spirit's right. It's what do we perceive? What do we want to accept? And I think there are a lot of people in the United States, at least in what I've experienced, and I've lived in a number of different parts of the country, who do believe, but it's not culturally acceptable to say you believe or that you have a special ability or a skill. There's really no schools to sort of give you credentials per se. And it's hard to, when people, because most of the time I think people, most of the time, you being the exception, but you might have had probably experiences when you were younger and a child and probably didn't remember it. But I think that it's almost taught that it can't be the case in the American culture and society. I mean, I have some friends in Canada, and I think they're much more open-minded, and they are much more accepting of the sort of this spiritual, the universal energy, and all these things that just happen, and they don't necessarily question it. Whereas we just chalk things up to coincidence or serendipity here.
Yeah, I'm not sure why that's the case in the US, but and I've only had a really small glimpse of the US too. I mean, you've got all these states, and I imagine if we go state to state, people are going to be different, and attitudes to things are going to be different. But it does feel very conservative there, which I was surprised about. Like, I'm surprised by the conservatism there, just even between human interaction and that. It may be because there's a really strong traditional religious base there. And Anita just said something about moral. I think, is it moral to be kind or kind to be moral? Well, like, morality is a human concept. It's not a spirit concept. Like, morality is a human belief system. It's not a universal thing. Right. It's something that we've well, that's right. It's something that we've adopted to coexist and to treat each other with kindness. And yet all the people who are selling that, like, if we look at all the religions who are selling morality, just by their history and their behavior, they're immoral. So there's all that conflict there. And then a lot of our nations, and I'm in Australia as well. A lot of our stuff in Australia, like we essentially had genocide against our Indigenous population here, and that still hasn't been healed. We have the same
thing. Yeah, we have the same thing here.
Yeah, but Australians don't want to talk about that. It's coming out in the public now. But Australians, my observation is that we're quite racist here in Australia, and it bothers me. But that's because we're not educated about our history. We're not taking ownership. We're not being responsible. We're not looking at those things we've done. And morality is kind of like that. I mean, it's sold to us, but I don't know if it's benefited us. Just kind of. I don't know. You want to know what kind? Can't we just smile at each other and just kind of get on with it, and and just take out all the big words?
Well, yeah, say what we mean and mean what we say, and act as we should, and and I think you're right. I think that the puritanical basis for the founding of the United States has an impact, and whereas Australia, when the European man came there, it was the prison country or continent, more or less. Well, essentially, yeah. We've got to be honest about that. Essentially, it was forced colonization. So there's a fair percentage of a convict population, and then there was mostly people that were a bit adventurous and would go there, and then there's the empirical system that ran it, like the British hierarchy that came in and ran it, and it's a tough country to survive in. And I think they had all that against them. So, our culture, I guess, is based on that. Energetically, everything's connected. Everything's interconnected. We're interconnected now. I think this is what my work's about. That. So I hear silent conversations all the time. So you'll say something out loud to me, and I'll hear something telepathically in my head. It's totally different. Which maybe I have to be really careful when I'm talking to you.
Which is going to be, and I'm not always on. Like, I don't want to be lost in this. I live my life, but when I'm working, someone will say something to me, and then I hear something else. I think, if we come back to what we're talking about, we're all looking at ways to fix life. So clients come to you with that. They tell me to fix me. And they're looking for an answer for that.
Right.
Well, my response from spirit is, why are you asking? And fix yourself.
Yeah. Little Owl Dancer just said, I'm always so paranoid that someone's going to read my thoughts. I just assume someone always is. So I try to think and say things. And I had a really hard time for a very long time because, my sort of awareness came about in the last few years more so than anything. But I used to I was like a dog with a bone when I knew something was right and someone would tell me something else completely. And I didn't know why I knew, but I'm like the human lie detector.
Yeah.
They couldn't tell me something. And I was called insane so many times because I would just go up on these email rants and I would just never drop something. And then when I finally had the realization, it's like, oh, wait a minute, I know things I shouldn't know. Now I can just sort of say, okay, that's nice. Have a good day. Thank you. And move on. It's a much more peaceful existence to be able to just sort of let it go and leave it behind and not dwell on it. Like, why, I know they're lying. I know that, and it's frustrating because I think there are so many people out there that have the same experience.
But you know what? The strange thing about this, I think, is that is that everybody's lying. We're politicians, aren't we? We never actually say, because we're trying to negotiate life. We're trying to be sensitive, or some of us are insensitive. But so we're all kind of, so if everyone just says that, everyone goes, okay, well, you know what? We're all just kind of messing around here. We're all being politicians. Let's stop, And some people tap into that and some people don't. I mean, I think the really big thing is you have to have awareness of yourself. This is the first thing that Spirit did to me, is they taught me about me. And one of the things was that they described that as seeing my own lies, So it was like I was seeing the stuff I was thinking and what I was saying, and then the mismatch there. But they're also looking deep within me about, how I experience love and how I interact. That's all that was about. Like when I, out of my body, talking to my guide, talking to, your spirits that people call ascended masters and stuff. Not that I'm a fan of that term, but, I'm talking to Jesus and his family, and then also indigenous, healers and, indigenous elders and, from all cultures. But there was always about me. The first 12 months was about me.
Right.
It's still
okay. And I'm bringing in Nika in here.
Recently told me I have psychic ability, and I've been practicing my psychic ability. I want you to do a reading, and then I want to do a reading. I want to see what it's like.
I've got an itchy disconnect finger, so be good.
By be good, do you mean lie to you, or do you mean just be euphemistic? What do you mean? Which one? Because when people usually say be good and patronize, that means they don't want to hear anything offensive. Like they don't want to hear the word fuck.
No. Be real. Be real. Be real. That's fine.
I'm the realest person on Blab. I'll tell you that right now. I'm the realest person on Blab.
Oh, you haven't spent much time with me. Go ahead, you guys.
We'll find out right now who's the realest person in this room. So I want you to do a psychic reading, and then I want to do my own psychic reading. I want to test my ability.
Well, you should just trust yourself. You got some aggression trapped in there.
I have a reason to be aggressive. I hate liars, and thus far I've only encountered liars on Blab. That's why you're a psychic, so I want to hear from you. I want to hear your reading because people have told me I'm psychic as well. That's why I feel like we might be kindred spirits.
You
might be.
Yeah, well, I'd be questioning why they told you that. I mean, people say these things. If you have nothing that says you're psychic, if you had no experience that indicates that, I want to know why you're taking it from somebody else.
Experience indicates. I'm confused. That statement was too general. Be a little more.
No. Have you had experiences that you would say, okay, I know things I shouldn't know?
Exactly. I have those experiences on a daily basis.
Okay. So that's what Simon's saying is the other people shouldn't have to tell you that. If they're telling you that, then it's obvious to them. So you have to know it first.
Consider it to be crazy. You could consider it to be knowledgeable. But if people are telling you constantly, how did you know that? How did you know that? How did you know that? You kind of, after a while, you get they must.
Yeah. I'm with you. Okay. They call you crazy. Trust me. Been there, done that.
This.
I'm just I mean, if you have such faith that you're getting that information, I'm just curious why you'd be worried about how someone's going to be judging you or questioning you on that.
I'm not. No, I mean, you misunderstand. I'm not worried about their judgment. I'm only worried about their censorship. Because on Blab, they're very quick if they're offended by something. They'll push the mute button. They'll kick you out. Those type of things. That's the only thing I'm concerned with. The judgment is useless.
That's a social media.
Who cares?
Yeah, but I mean that's all over. That's all over.
Yeah, that's the superficial social media thing.
On the screen, nothing. So it's irrelevant if they're typing. I usually don't even look on the right side when a chat room's full and they're typing a bunch of stuff. I move the browser over to the right so I can't even see that, and I could just focus on the people in the chat. Make it much easier.
Cool. All right. So Simon, what are you getting that you want to tell Anita? Any advice or, whatever that you feeling?
I mean, I don't doubt his confidence, I don't doubt that he's a smart guy as well. I can really pick that up. But, I'm kind of wondering why, he's challenging. He's just challenging the world. It's got to be something that he's experienced in his life.
Yeah, but
I mean, that's what he was doing.
Hang on, Anita. Let him finish, and then it might be clear.
It's not clear because he said the word challenge, and people euphemistically insert that term into all kinds of conversations. It's like a new term, but they don't want to say problem. They don't want to identify the specific quote, quote, challenge. So when you say challenge, I have no idea what that even means. Can you identify
that? But keep in mind, too, he's from New Zealand and lives in Australia, so his terminology might be different than what we're used to here. So when you say challenges, we don't mean necessarily, my dad's a psychiatrist, so he would probably beat me if I said issues. But that's why I want him to
specifically identify the challenge so I understand, and I'm on the same page. Go ahead, identify.
Yeah, but if you're not ready to hear it, Anita, you're going to be upset.
Think people are ready to hear me. That's what my complaint is. So that's why I want him to be specific. I'm ready to hear everything.
Well, the two things I'm going to say there. One, you just got to slow down. But you're saying that we're not ready to hear you. But I mean, essentially, you're intruding there. Like if you're forcing your opinion into the world, then you're intruding on that. If you say we're not ready to hear it, then you're intruding
on everybody else. Isn't it a dual forcing of opinions? You're forcing your opinion on the world. No. I'm forcing my opinion on the world. She's forcing her opinion on the world. Who isn't forcing their opinion on the world, first of all?
No, we're not forcing opinions. By sharing an opinion, there's no force. It's sharing. It's someone's choice to watch or enjoy or engage.
I don't know. That's not true at all, because whenever you're doing something, either passively or actively, let's say okay, Martin Luther King Jr., right? Going up the steps. His policy was nonviolent protests, right? Peaceful protesting. He's trying to enforce his opinion on the world because he wants a voice. He wants to speak on TV. He wants to give a message that black people are worth just as much as white people. We're both equal. And then there's the other school of thought, which is Malcolm X, which is fuck white people. They've been oppressing us. They control the power structures, and therefore it's going to be difficult to even say anything. So
but Anita, you're giving analogies that he may not be able to relate to in Australia, because I'm sure we couldn't relate to his civil rights leaders.
Let me simplify it then. There's one school of thought like Gandhi, it's probably a little more famous, where it's passive protest, like hunger strike. Okay? Mm-hmm. He's trying to enforce his opinion on the world passively. Then there are active people like Hitler, Mussolini, even the United States. When we go to involved with the country,
I disagree with your analogy. I disagree with what you're trying to describe.
Yeah, you know what? This honestly, I mean, I'm not going to say I'm cutting you off, but I think that no one's forcing anything on anybody unless we tell you have to do what you have to do. But if you want us to have a conversation with you, you have to listen too, right?
I like how I have to listen to you. Again, you're trying to enforce your opinion on me.
We listen to you.
No, you're not. You're discounting me.
We did.
I have to let you go. So you're saying I'm not listening to you. See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Man, the hypocrisy.
No, you're creating your own reality. You're
too aggressive.
You're angry. You're aggressive.
I'm angry and aggressive. Versus
you have abilities, but you're not trusting them. So you're channeling that as frustration to other people.
You're full of shit, couldn't I? So is my opinion right?
Dude.
Am I aggressive?
Dude,
full of shit.
Maya, just say goodbye to him. Just cut him out of the conversation.
Okay, I'm sorry. Not my style, but you're not.
No, the truth is not your style. Cowards do not appreciate.
I'm not a coward. That's for damn sure. So, okay.
Hey, just on that, because I imagine there's quite a few people kind of, listening to that.
Mm-hmm.
His son, like I kind of knew, he'll be kind of rolling his eyes at this, but I kind of knew that we're going to have a situation like this today. Not that I knew the details. I mean, there's a whole kind of what people believe a psychic does or a medium does. There's this kind of perception that we're going to have every answer or every situation, or nothing's going to surprise us. What surprises me in my work is not the amazing results I get, or when I'm giving evidential, accurate information to people. Actually, I'm actually surprised by the things that I miss. Right. And there's a lot of stuff that I miss, and I wonder how I missed that.
Yeah.
But I don't look back on that. I don't waste any time in that. But, in this situation, he's kind of challenging. The whole thing about social media is there's a lot of trolls on social media, and social media gives the idiots, a platform to have a voice.
Yeah.
Now,
well, and that's why you have to be quick to react to trolls, but no one is forcing an opinion. By giving an opinion, you're not forcing anything. You're airing a side or a thought, and that opens a discussion. Yeah. If someone says you're forcing it, that's
look, I'm very you can't. He asked for a reading. I think my first sentence was, "You're really aggressive," and then 2 minutes later, that's accurate. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing that's going on there. He's holding on to aggression, and he just, and he's got to, challenge the world. That's exactly what he's doing. Everything's a challenge to him, and he's got to push back.
Yeah, well, but at the same time, Simon, I was there. I mean, I've known you for 7 or 8 years now, and I was an angry person, and I was frustrated before I accepted and trusted my own intuition and instincts. And that takes you to a new place where you can kind of leave things behind. When you know you're right, or you're not communicating well and people don't get it, it just becomes this incredible frustration. And I think I sensed a lot of that. They're calling him JoJo in JoJo. In that, there is probably a lot of intelligence and a lot of perception, and it's knowing when you can step into it and cause some trouble. And it's fun to disrupt sometimes, but at the same time, if you legitimately want to have a conversation with Simon, and when we're here to share what you do with people that are interested, then, it's not conducive in this conversation. So,
well, it just goes round and round. Look, I've done this publicly at events. I've done a lot of free events, which you can't. And the other thing about that too, there's this kind of, this perception that because of what I do is an amazing gift, then it must be free. So you attract a lot of people that want to kind of take advantage of that, right. and they'll do exactly what just happened there. They'll come to you for advice, and I'll say something politely, and then they'll push and challenge you on that, and they'll push into that. And you just can't do anything. You can't make them happy, because they don't want to hear what you've got to say.
Right.
Look, I know that guy's intelligent. Like he's just bristling with intelligence.
Oh gosh, yeah.
He's just directing it in the wrong way.
Yeah.
And look, it takes all sorts to make the world go around. But if we can't be polite, if we can't give space for everybody to talk, we can't understand.
Yeah.
I mean, the best advice my guide ever gave me was to be, to do good. Do big things, but keep yourself small.
Okay.
So be small, but do great things. And I think that's important. That's what you all got to do.
Yeah. Okay, good. Perfect. All right. Well, listen, Marvetta Holland wants to ask you a question about a career. Marvetta, can you ask again? And let's get you on here. So if you want to jump in. Oh, where's Marvetta? It's not letting me add.
She's just there. I
know she's there, but she was gonna jump in, and it has to give me the option again. So why don't you request again?
Well, I'm sure she can hear me if she has a question about a career. And this, my guide always does this. I'd be asking why she's asking me. If she has doubt or fear, that's why she's asking me. Do you know what I mean? You have to have courage, and you have to have commitment.
Okay.
I would say, do what makes her happy. And immediately when I think of her, my heart starts racing a little bit, but that's kind of an anxious feeling that I get.
Okay.
And the other thing too, when I think about it too, is I know that there's going to be tears like trapped in there as well. So, like I kind of have this sense that I got to support her and hug her, so I'd be wondering, this is the guidance that she most needs, I would say, just trust yourself. If we're not going to be specific about the career, I would just say, just trust yourself. The other things too, it seems way too complicated. Like whatever she's doing to set up, it seems like she's got to jump through too many hoops.
Right.
But she might actually be putting those hoops in front of her. She might actually be putting that stuff in front of her because she thinks she has to do something to get to a certain location. I'm just fatigued. My shoulder drops too, but I don't know why.
Okay.
My left shoulder drops, so there's going to be a body.
Marvetta, can you request the seat again, or is it locked? It should be unlocked. Marvetta, request the seat again, so I'm going to bring you in on video. Okay, here she is. All right. Marvetta.
Okay.
Hi, Marvetta. Hopefully coming in here. So Simon. Hi there.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good. So did you hear what Simon was saying so far?
Yes, I
Okay.
did.
Now, just on that, did that make sense?
It does. It does.
Okay.
I feel like I'm in the middle of the ocean and I have to keep swimming or sink. That's kind of where I am in my life with.
But you know, just let me cut in there, because this is you talking to me telepathically. You know, you've always been in the middle of the ocean. You're in the middle of the ocean when you're a kid, you know. You know what? You were kind of born into that environment where you felt lost, you know, where you had to kind of step up yourself, you know. And I think, you know, and fatigue's coming in here too. And I'm just going to talk about mental health stuff here. I know it's very personal and we're kind of in public, but, you know, a lot of people who have depression and stuff, it just starts as fatigue, you know. And I see this pattern in you. I see the anxiety there, you know. So you get fatigued because you feel unsupported.
Yes.
I mean, you're not really asking about your career. You're asking about, you know, how much support do I have?
Yes.
Because you feel unsupported.
Yes.
The career is irrelevant. Your career is your dream, or, you know, what you want to do, you know. But there's this expectation, if I'm not good at that, then I fail. But you're actually saying to me, I fail again. You just need to be told that you didn't fail. You know, like I see you as like a, you know, 12, 14-month-old baby, you know, and mum's not coping. You know, mum's, I don't know what's going on with mum. She's anxious. She's agitated. And I'm just a little bit fidgety too. So I don't know if mum, you know, fidgets. I don't know why my body feels fidgety, but it's got to do with mum, you know. So she kind of, you know, I know that she left you. I know that she left you to cry. I know that she couldn't cope with that. So I kind of set that in place, you know.
Yeah,
and it's not a judgment against your mum.
She left me when I was 5.
There we go. There we go. Is that where I find the drugs too? Because I went to, you know, I've gone to drugs and alcohol and violence as well. Is that with mum?
I've never done
that's
any
your mom.
drugs. But
no, that's coming from your mom.
No. Is that, let's go to mum. I want mum. Yeah.
No, not
if I
not to my knowledge.
I'm just a bit unsure about that, because when I smell alcohol, do you know what I mean? And I feel pressure. I feel pressure on my body, physical contact on my body as well. So I'm kind of thinking it's got to be in mum's life somewhere, you know. So I'm just very, very curious about that.
In my life, because I've been under a lot of stress and I've been drinking an extra glass of wine here and there.
Okay.
Self-medicating. We all do it sometimes.
Yeah. I still, look, even though you've just said that to me, I still want us to, I'd like to have a tough conversation with the mum about that, you know, because your behavior's got to come from there. I just know it's relevant.
Yeah, no, Marvetta, I think that people were protecting you because moms don't have an easy time leaving their kids. And I think that there was more going on. So for her to be out of your life like that, someone else somewhere was protecting you and looking out for your best interests. So I think
actually, my mom left to work because at that time there just weren't any jobs for her. Mm-hmm. So she left and she went to New York to work for a family, because during that time there just wasn't any really good jobs for Black women. Yeah. And I hate to put it out there like that, but that's the truth. Mm-hmm. And the distance caused a bit of a separation for us. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but, you know, this is all relevant to your question about your career. Yes. The first question was,
yes,
you know, and I wish I could make peace with that. And, you know, look, I say to everybody, if we're having a conversation, there's healing that's occurring, you know, yes. And it kind of happens, you know, just, and, you know, you could even sit quietly and just meditate and just think about me and say, you know, Simon and Spirit, you know, just kind of, can I have some healing? And it should just come straight on, mm-hmm. You know, so you might feel warmth or tingling or a sense of peace, you know. Mm-hmm. But yeah, look, I just want to reassure you. I mean, your courage can't be questioned. You know what I mean? Your courage can't be questioned. You're just a bit lost on the direction. You know, you've been courageous enough to get this far. And, you know, the other thing too, you've been courageous enough to hold on to this. You just got to redirect that.
You have to believe in yourself and trust yourself. Don't second guess yourself.
Yes,
your
intuition. I think you said the key word right there. The trusting.
Yeah.
You know what? We hate change. Everybody fears change. But when it is something that you believe in and you want so badly, and other people are saying, no, that can never be. You know what? You know what you need to do. You're going to feel it, and you need to not second guess yourself. That's your intuition. That's the survival instinct. That's part of your connection. And everybody has the ability to be psychic in whatever you want to term that as. So you need to know to trust yourself, to believe in yourself and love yourself. If you love yourself, if you believe in yourself, and if you have that confidence, nobody can hold you back.
Okay.
And the truth, truly, the truth will set you free no matter what it is. You know, talk to your mom. Ask the hard questions. Ask other family members. And just know that, you know, you are the strong woman that you are because of all those experiences. And changing anything or having regrets and saying, I wish this didn't happen, you know what? You can't, because you are exactly where you need to be. And, you know, when we look back at all the different options we've had in life, you know, if you change any of those, everything changes. So celebrate the hard lessons you learn from the difficulties, and, you know, confidently go for whatever you want, because you can make it happen. Right, Simon?
Yeah,
I mean, I think she can be amazing for whatever she wants.
I believe so.
I'm just thinking about your back too, like your back and your shoulder and your hip. Like, why am I twitching? What's going on with your back?
Well, I used to be a pretty heavy duty exercise person, always in the gym. But over the past few years, I started to have some joint problems.
Yeah.
You know, some joint
Yeah, look,
aches.
I can pick that up. I keep leaning to my left, but I don't know what's making me lean, but I can feel it across my neck and my shoulder. And
that might be me, Simon. Sorry, I'm sitting funny on one of these exercise balls.
Well, I have hip pain on the left side, so. And I think that really that slowed me down a little bit as far as my physical fitness.
Yeah, you know what? Let's try and fix that. Like, I know that's kind of weird. I can say that to you, but let's try and fix that. Mm-hmm. Let's just, if you sit quiet, if you lay still and lay down and just ask for healing, we might be able to get some of that pain relief there. You know, you may actually feel hands placed on your body, like you may feel the pressure, and then your back might just kind of move. But yeah, look, I get a lot of good responsive joint and back pain. But, you know, the biggest thing there is emotional support and also core muscle support as well. So we've got to get you back exercising and get some core muscle strength in there as well. You know. But yeah, thanks for talking to me, darling. Cheers.
Thank you so very much. Thank you. I appreciate you both. You. Thank you.
No worries. Lots of love.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh.
I might have just lost audio.
No, that was me. Oh, so she's smiling. She's awesome.
I'm good now.
All right. So, yeah. So you're going to be sending some healing to Marvetta. And I see that our buddy Nancy has joined us. Nancy is also involved in your visit here to the Mid-Atlantic area. You're going to be in Delaware, around Philadelphia, towards D.C., and you're going to be down in Virginia, too. So I'll put those links up again. Now, Sarah Lynn is asking a question. She wants to know, is my grandmother near me?
Where is she? Where is this beautiful Sarah?
Sarah, I've just shared her there. Sarah, you still over there? Yep. Okay. Do you want to request a seat? Let's bring Sarah in. Hopefully. Yep, there she is. All right. Sarah.
I'm just going to say something too. There's just noticed a comment come up by Martina about if she's hey, doll.
Hello.
Hey, I'm just going to answer.
Yeah.
I just saw a comment come up by Martina that says, you know, if you're not on cam, I can't feel your energy. But that's not actually accurate. I can. I mean, being able to see you is a lot easier. But I mean, I just wanted to see you just to say hi. You know.
Hello.
Yeah, that's cool.
Wavy bumblebee.
Now, Sarah, we're getting a lot.
Sure
I don't know if
Wavy bumblebee. That's better. That's better. Like I'm
yeah,
Maya
yeah.
first.
Do you want to
That's better.
Was that there? Okay. All right. So you were asking if your grandmother is near you.
I was just,
so, Simon?
I mean, as soon as you asked the question, I was just running a chain through my fingers, or I felt like I was running a chain through my fingers.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So if this is your grandmother in spirit, then I don't know what she's trying to indicate with the chain, and I'm trying to get her to show me a chain. Yes, a chain, like a necklace, and I'm trying to get her to show me what she's talking
Sarah,
about.
does that make sense?
But I just want to know where's Elizabeth? Where's Betty or Betsy? Where's Elizabeth?
Elizabeth is one of my grandmothers. It wasn't the one I was wanting to talk about, but
that's all right.
She passed.
That's all right. Doesn't matter. We'll take Elizabeth. Because here's the thing: you say grandmother, we're going to get all the grandmothers. They're just going to come.
Wow.
So another thing Elizabeth is telling me too is that I think it's going to be. I'm sure she said Dot, which I think is Dorothy. Now, so I would look at that. So I'd look at who Dorothy is to Elizabeth. And you just got to, if you don't know the name, just trust me, because we've already got Elizabeth sorted out,
Okay.
And the other thing she wants to do to me is that she wants to feed me. Elizabeth wants to feed me, which is part of her personality. All right. So she wants me in her house, and she wants to feed me, because that's what Elizabeth does.
Yes.
All right. So she does the whole cooking thing and all that sort of stuff. Okay. All right. And she does really warm hugs as well, because I can feel that she's doing that. So if she's doing that to me, she's doing that to you. And I can tell by your response that I'm right, even though it was a very kind of generalized statement, because that's because she's with you doing that now.
Okay.
So you don't have to worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. You don't have to worry about that. The other grandmother will be there, but I'm not sure that I'm linking to her quick enough. All right. Now, there's going to be an FR name, which I think is going to be Francis, or Fran, that comes in as well. So we've got a DOR name, which I think is Dorothy, and a FR name, which I think is Francis. So we're going to have to look at that. So when I say those names, I'm in a diner, all right? So I can see a group of ladies sitting in a diner, and I know they're card players as well. All right. So I'm not quite sure what game of cards they're playing, because it doesn't look like something I'm familiar with, but they're card players there.
Okay.
All right. And there's a man that comes in just on the side, and he looks like he's in a military uniform. But I can't identify the military uniform, just the way he's dressed. He's a taller guy, thicker set man, got a good old bumpy nose, and he's kind of got a round face, receding hair, worker's hands. I know he got worker's hands. I know he works with timber and wood. I see a pickup truck and an old denim jacket as well. All right.
Okay.
And where's your horse memory? Where's your horse memory? A horse memory, yes.
I have a horse memory from Mexico. I went to Mexico and rode a horse once.
No. I want you young. I want you like 3 years old, 4 years old. Where's the horse memory? Think of grandparents.
Did you go on a
pony
ride?
Where's the horse memory?
I did.
Like as a child, grandparents?
I did take a picture. They used to bring ponies around the neighborhood, and we used to sit on them, and they would take pictures. Yeah, that sounds about right.
There we go. Okay, this is what I want. 3 or 4. So just a question: is that memory with Elizabeth, or is that memory with the other lady that I have?
I don't have any memories with the other grandmother. I never met her, but I feel very connected to her.
Okay.
But Elizabeth is the one
No wonder. There you go. No wonder Elizabeth came through so strongly then.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? There has it's kind of it all links up. You see.
Okay.
I should be there. Don't worry about it. But there is someone sitting off to the side. All right. But so just think of Elizabeth, Dorothy, Fran, or Francis.
Okay.
It's definitely an FR name. Those 3 ladies together.
Okay.
And the horse memory kind of clinches the kind of got the photos of that as well.
Okay.
And I think you had really fat toes when you were a baby, because she's taking me to your toes. I don't know, it's going to be like she's pulling your toes, So you're going to have fat toes there.
Okay.
Oh, babies with no toes are the best.
And so the other thing is with you too, is I don't know if you see where I'm touching my throat, but I actually have a throat thing going on myself, but with you, I'm touching my throat. And I'm not sure what it is. And I also feel pressure like across my chest as well, which could be just lymphatics. Right. So I have no medical training, right? Like I just know that. But like there's a funny feeling across your chest to your armpit. So once I get to your armpit, that's lymphatics. That's your gland in there, and also the throat thing going on. So, you know, I've been mindful of your health, and, you know, and like I'm going to say something really like personal here. Just kind of like a breast exam or something with a doc. You know what I mean? Like just keep that health fit. Like just keep on that. Okay. And, you know, I say to clients, if I'm wrong, what's it matter? Like, you know what I mean? But just I feel like I want to. You know what I mean? I want to guide you to be. I want to guide you to be healthy.
And aware.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And you carry some sadness too. Cool. Like I see you sleeping and you look like you're upset, but I don't know why. You just look lonely. Like I see your face. You look lonely and you're kind of crying. I don't know what that's about. Whether that's relationship stuff, but you know, like I just see you. Like I'm watching you sleep. So yeah. So thanks for chatting.
Now,
thank you very much.
Yeah, and Sarah, you can find him on Twitter. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're brave.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Cheers, Dawn. Thank you.
All right. There we go. All right. So now we had another question from April, Bursting Autism. And she wants to ask you a question, so I'm going to bring her in. All righty. April, hi, I know. She said she was crying, so I know she was feeling your energy, Simon. Yeah, so she didn't want to be on camera, but it's okay. We all cry. And you're gorgeous.
I mean, and if you don't cry, you'll make me cry, and I cry real ugly, so that's not going to be pretty for everyone.
I know. I'm starting to feel it, too.
I think that the girl you were talking to just now, that I was the one coming through to you.
Yeah, no, I think, like there's something similar there, but the gal I was talking to now she's, you know, I'm kind of solid with that. This is your stuff that you got going on here, you know. And I don't know who Chris is, but it could be someone who's living. I don't know if it's Chris or, I just have a Chris sound in my head, and I can't identify whether it's Chris for a guy or Chris for Christine. But I see you younger, like I see you as a kid, like 11 years old. So I don't know how that connects to you, but it's just flicking around in my head, you know. Are you okay? Can you talk?
Yeah, I'm just, while I was sitting here listening to you, I just got really overwhelmed and just couldn't stop crying. Yeah. And my heart started racing and hot flash.
That happens in events. I did an event just last week, and, you know, 3/4 of the people were crying. It was actually one of the easiest events I did. I didn't have to do much talking. I just had to hand out tissues, you know. They were just crying, and it just kind of, it's just amazing how that happens. So, there we go.
Tissues are good. Crying is good. What's that song? It's all right to cry. Crying takes the sad out of my eyes or something. So who is the little person running around back there?
And he's autistic and nonverbal. So that's
nonverbal. Yeah.
On me.
Yeah.
He's pretty verbal.
Look, you know what's his name?
His name is Morgan Christopher.
Oh, it's Morgan Christopher. Holy crap. Okay, yeah, sorry for my language. So let's just think about that, though, Morgan Christopher. All right, so, like, I was certain that I was seeing you about 11 years old, right? So I'm doing 9, 10, and 11, all right? And I'm doing fruit tree. I'm picking fruit, or I'm looking at a basket of fruit. Now, someone in spirit's stuck on this, all right? So it's going to be at the grandparent generation, all right? And I think there should be a John or a Jack as well. All right. So just kind of think about that. I'm stuck on that. I'm sure it's you, you know, and I don't think it's a coincidence that his middle name is Christopher, because I think there's another Christopher memory that you have.
Nothing comes to mind about the name.
Yeah. That's all right. So just, I'm certain of the age of you. I want those years 9, 10, or 11. All right. And I want a fruit experience. So I see like a barrel or a basket. It's got a barrel shape, and then I see a basket of fruit. But it actually feels like I was picking it off the tree. All right? So it has to become here. And I see those kind of, you know, those like denim jeans, but with a strap over the shoulder and a little bib on it.
Overalls.
Kind of that. Yeah. Like the kind of 80s look. Like our parents were dressing us like that. Like, you know, I see that with you. And a little pair of boots or shoes, and there's red on the shoes. I know it's you. All right? And I can see that, and I come back to this lady again. All right? It's a lady. I know it's a lady now. I come back to this lady, and the fruit keeps on coming in, you know? So I don't know how to relate that to you because it's not talking. but she's definitely there.
Well, Simon, I know that they say that autistic children are very sensitive and aware. So I don't know if you can.
Well, I think for me, the thing with autism, right? So I've done a few healings with kids with autism, and had some, not a non-verbal autistic child, and has some really good responses as well. Right? Now, how I see that energetically is that we have a filter. Right? So just think of us as being consciousness or being a mind. Right? And so information comes to us. Like you and I are communicating. That's what triggered you to cry. You received a signal to make you cry. Right? Well, with autism, they don't have a filter. Right? So they're actually overwhelmed. Right? So then they will retreat to a specific behavior just to cope with that. It's a coping thing. All right? So we can put that in place. Now, I don't know what scientists will say about that. I don't know what scientists would say about that or doctors would say about that. But that's what I see when I'm working. So I've done some work with one girl in particular, absolutely beautiful, and her behaviour changed incredibly after one healing, and the mother came back and saw it again, and she said the most beautiful thing to me as well. The young girl, she actually said after the healing, she got up and she looked at me and said, "I feel clean inside," and that was kind of perfect. She looked straight at me and broke my heart and made me cry, But her coping behaviour just improved. So much that the carers that were looking after her made a comment to her parents saying, like, what have you done? You must have done something different. Like, what's going on? So, I mean, if I'm talking to you, we're connecting to your son. Now, one or two things will happen to know that I've had some influence on your son. Either his behavior will kind of settle and you'll notice it just, it'll be a distinct difference, or it'll go the other way and it's going to be out of control. There's no middle ground. All right, so there's no middle ground. But if you notice an extreme behavior either way, it means that the healing has influenced them somehow. All right. Now I don't know how that's going to manifest, and I don't know how much improvement we can get on that. I just know that we can kind of settle them because that's what I want to do. Like I want to do that for you, because you're overwhelmed. Like you're overwhelmed. You're just trying too hard. There we go.
At least coming on, I feel a little bit settled down now from before. I felt like I was hyperventilating.
That's okay. Hugs, lots of hugs. Give you hugs. It's all good, though.
Yeah. Yes. And April was one of the first to subscribe, so we're glad you're here. So, all right, cool. That was neat. All right, Martina had a question. Martina, do you want to jump into a seat? Is she still there? I think she's still there. There she is. All right, Martina.
Hello.
Hi. Hi there. Welcome, Simon. So Martina had a question about Lyme disease. Is that what you're saying? Lyme disease, or
yeah? Do you see anything in terms of it resolving?
Oh man, you're gonna make me sigh there. Like I can feel the energy of that. I can feel the weight of that question. So for me, let's just talk about Lyme disease in particular. So for me, Lyme disease has been a kind of interesting one. A lot of people come with MS, and they relate that to the Lyme disease as well. I've only had a partial response. I've mostly seen, I don't know how many people I've seen, maybe 4 or 5, like, and where they've identified the Lyme disease. And I've only been able to get a partial response where I can kind of, limit some of the discomfort or pain that they're going through. That kind of neuropathic response where everything's not working. Are they certain that it's Lyme disease? I just want to ask that question. Are they certain that it's Lyme disease?
Yeah, it's absolutely sure. Like the blood test shows that it's positive. And in addition to the Lyme disease, I also have babesiosis.
Which is, I have no idea what that is, darling. What's that, darling?
It's a blood parasite.
Okay. All right. Okay, maybe I did. Maybe look, like I was seeing blood, but I had no idea what I was looking at. Like, so I was just seeing blood. But that's why I had the question about the Lyme disease, because, like I once I have contact with an illness, I normally get like the same image or the same vibration, and it just wasn't sitting right with me that it was Lyme's with you. But Yeah, look, Parasite, eh? Wow.
No, both have like tested positive, so.
Yeah, that's what I'm just thinking about that.
Did you have multiple tests on the Lyme? Because I know Lyme has a lot of false positive and false negative.
For Lyme, yeah, I got like negatives at first, and then after I started treating the babesia, it came out as positive.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
so you've
that's
had
right.
more than one positive, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look, you know, if I'm going to be completely honest with you, I'm not sure that I can answer this in a way that's going to, you know, satisfy you. I'm very curious about it. I mean, look, the fact that you're talking to me, the fact that we can engage some healing there. So, you know, I'd give the same advice to you as I gave the other lady. If you sit still and think about me and just kind of visualize me and then just say, Simon and Spirit, you know, give me some healing and let's see if we can get a response there, you know. I have to say, though, that you feel pretty settled. Like, I mean, yeah, I'm surprised by that. I expected you to be just a little bit more upset, but
yeah, I was like upset about it, like maybe like a year ago when it started happening. But I'm like, I've come to terms with it. But I just want to know, like, if it's ever going to be completely cured, because it's really annoying taking the medications.
Is there some treatment they do where they run the blood through, like you know, where they change the temperature of the blood? You know, like hypothermia, like, you know, where they can put you in stress. Because I mean, I keep thinking about that, and I'm wondering if there's something going on in Germany that can help you. Like, I just think Germany, in my head, this is what I get. I get Germany, you know, a treatment where they do something with the blood. So I don't know if that's beneficial or not, or that's beneficial to research it. You know, but of course, obviously, there's going to be a cost involved there as well, and that might be something that you can't meet, but. You know, that's what I keep on getting in my head on a very practical level. On an energetic level, on what I do as a healer, I have to tell you, I'm not sure. I'm completely honest. I'm just not sure. I feel like the healing is engaged because of reaction in my hands. So I'm giving you healing, but I'm not sure the outcome. You know, I don't feel disappointed though. Like I don't feel upset or disappointed.
You don't like feel like a sense of like the timeline or like forecast of like.
No. Look, I would tell you. I'm always completely honest. I would tell you. I feel okay. You know, like I feel okay. So I'm curious about that, which tells me that the healing can influence you somehow, but I'm not just certain of the outcome. But from a very practical level, like I said before, I feel that there must be some research going on in Germany, you know, some sort of medical field in Germany that's looking at this. You know, and I think it's got to do with temperature changes. You know, so like hypothermic stuff where you're cold, and they do something with the blood.
So one of those systems where they put you in stasis and they sort of like run the blood through a secondary machine.
Let's be honest. It's just that
that
impression
he's describing what he sees.
Yeah, that impression came to me. That's all. So I just want to encourage you not to give up and to keep researching. You know, because I do feel positive for you, and part of the reason I feel positive for you is you have a really strong mind. You have a really disciplined mind. Do you know what I mean? And you're really calm in there too. There's no resistance. You know, there's no desperation either, which I like. There's no resistance. It's just like, I'm here. You know, just love me. Just, you know, look after me. It's just, that's all I'm getting here, and I like it.
Yeah, so, I was probably like desperate like a year ago, but that was because like I didn't get diagnosed yet. But after I got diagnosed, I just take the medication and I think I'll be okay.
Cool. Well, you know, I mean, maybe I can see you. I don't know where you are. Maybe I can get to see you one day in person or something. Maybe that opportunity will come up. You know, and I'm just not sure.
California.
Where are you located, Martina? He's going to be in California. Are you in northern or southern?
Okay.
Well, Simon's going to be in Mountain View. I put the link up before. I'm going to pull it up again at the East West Bookstore.
Look, there's a free event there. There's a free event there, so you get to meet me in person, and you know, just let me have contact with you, and we'll just see. You know, maybe something will occur. You know.
Okay, and then I had another question, if that's okay.
Yeah, what's that?
Sure. We've just got to watch time.
Okay.
Sure. Go ahead, because we got to have other people too. But yes, go ahead.
Like maybe like a year ago up till now, like sorry, my throat is dry. I was like considering pursuing this one profession, but I'm not sure anymore, and I really want to do this other profession, but it's sort of hard to like break into, so I don't know what I should do.
Well, before you even ask the question, but you're driving the answer. Like, yeah, I just got don't do it.
What?
You're driving the answer. I just got don't do it, before you even started speaking, what came into my mind was don't do it. And I think you can see that it's going to be really difficult, and I think the fatigue's going to be too much there initially.
What if I like pursue the first profession, and I have that one for sure, and then I like pursue the other one on the side?
There we go. I like that option. I like that option. Just trust me.
Did you?
I like that option. I know I don't know what you. Yeah. No, I know I don't know. I have no clue what you're talking about.
Okay, so
I have
the
no
first
clue.
one is like a businessy sort of job, and then the other job is the riskier one, the writing sort of job.
Go the first one.
Oh, perfect. You can do that on the side, and yeah.
Yeah,
you'll succeed. Use both of them to leverage. Use your business career to leverage the writing.
My first answer. The second one, like you wanted to totally commit to that. My answer was don't do it. All right. The next option was that's the one I want you to do. Just stay on the business side, stay focused. Have an income, be settled. Because I don't think
you saw bad signs with the second job.
No, not at all. Not at all.
No, he was saying that you shouldn't drop what you're doing completely and just jump into the other one. But your transition, if you do it like you said as a secondary and work on it, persistence,
so you're implying that
it will
at
eventually
some point,
shift.
Being able to focus just on the second job will be a possibility. Or...
Everything's a possibility. I know that's kind of a generalized statement, but everything's a possibility. We create. This for me is a possibility. We create our stuff. Be brave. I'm just going to say, you feel very disciplined. You feel very relaxed. Just know that. Just take those tools forward. Disciplined, relaxed, courageous. It's going to be fine.
You got this, girl.
You're going to be fine, darling. Yeah.
Yeah, you're very peaceful. You're whatever you want, you can do. And if you have something steady as a career or a career field that you're going to do and that's going to support you while you work towards your more creative side, which you might be more passionate about, then you'll know when to make that full on jump and pull the chute. So
okay.
Cheers,
trust
darling.
yourself.
Thanks for talking to us.
All right. Thank you.
Take care.
All right,
thank you, Martina, and go check him out in Mountain View. She's awesome. Okay, all right. Thank you, Martina. Let's see here.
I'm just going to say something. I'm just going to say something generalized about how I work. So some people would say, "Oh, I must be a psychic." But I'm not a fortune teller, right? So even though if I separate the mediumship, like communicating to spirit and getting blocks of information from spirit, and the psychic stuff, right? So sometimes I'll say something to somebody so accurate, they'll contact me 2 years later and say, what you said to me, all that stuff happens, right? I'm a potential guy. I see potentiality. I kind of answer the question, like if I look at the reasons why you're asking me, that's what I do with spirit. If you're asking me something because you're afraid or you're nervous or you don't have any belief in yourself, that's the stuff I want to work with. And that's the stuff that people in spirit want to work with. If you're asking me when you're going to sell your house, I'm probably not the guy to answer that question.
Yeah, you can ask me.
That's the way that I get that with a client is I'll say, look, I see a real estate sign, but I don't know what it relates to. It's because spirit are telling me that they're aware of the conversation about real estate, which is a total different thing than being able to advise someone when to do something. I'll advise you why you're hesitating. I'll advise you why you're not committing to it.
Yeah,
but I'm not that type of psychic. You know, like I'm a medium. I work with healing and stuff.
Okay. Yeah. So Tammy's coming in here.
Hello.
So hello. Oh, she looks fabulous. I love your glasses.
That's good.
I've been having a lot of let's see. Why, God, are you making this so hard for me? Issues. And when he wants me to do something, and then it's okay.
You're just breaking up a little bit there for me, but I would say God's must be asking, why are you making this so hard? You know, like it's just interesting that, like the whole, you know, so like I might use the word spirit rather than the word God, you know, but that whole kind of, you know, that divine power or something that's connected. You know, for me, spirit are waiting for us to make a decision and waiting for us to act. You know, so if I think about my trip coming to the US, there's a lot of frustration around that. Now I could have said, well, you know, spirit wise it's so difficult, but it's me who's making it difficult. It's my fear, it's my doubt, it's my emotion. And I think we control. I think we, you know, I think we kind of control that. We do all that, you know, and if we don't let go of the fear, then we can't move forward. I find that really curious. But yeah, I would. I'm not sure how much faith you had around God or what your, you know, whether it's religion where you're coming from or, but yeah. Am I making sense?
Does that make sense,
He
Tammy?
sort of broke up a little bit during that time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you did too when you were asking. So, all right. So it's, I mean, essentially, Simon's saying what I think a lot of us happen is like, why are things so difficult, or why are so many challenges? Why is, you know, God or the universe putting these things on us? And a lot of times it's our own desire. We're not ready, and we're afraid, or we're fearful, and until we can come to terms with whatever lesson we have to achieve.
No, I'm not fearful, you know, of doing it. It just seems that doors aren't being open to me. I keep on laying out the groundwork for it, and I haven't gotten any doors open to me. Now, there's just everybody else seems to be getting the doors open for them, and I've not gotten that yet.
But if I was to say something really tough here, and says it's because you believe it, like you believe it's not going to be easy, and you actually you don't believe the doors are going to be opened. Like inside, you don't believe it. You do not believe that it has to be easy. You don't believe the doors are going to be opened. It's just, for me, it's just screaming out of you. You know, like you see it all around you. You can't see it with yourself.
Yeah, because I've never had anything easy.
and I understand that. But
with you, Tammy.
You know, like just for everybody listening to this, we got to change our language on that, right? I kind of call this fluff and stuff, like, but we got to change our language. Like for you to say to me, "I've never had it easy," out loud, on the inside, it's just screaming in there. It has to be tough, right? And so that's the vibration that you're putting out. It's always going to be that way until you change your language. So you've got to change your thoughts. You've got to change everything, you know, and kind of, yeah, look, if we're going to talk about the law of attraction stuff, it has to be something that we imagine and something that we bring physicality to. So we write it down, we say it out loud. And then the part that everybody misses is that we have to act. We have to be courageous and act. And we don't do that. We go, oh, well, I'm going to, you know, I visualize this. I'm going to put it on my vision board. I'm going to say prayer. I'm going to do something.
But you have to have the affirmation and that it will, and change your mindset, because it's hard to believe, but it really is. And there's so many people that believe that, and they see those things get easier. Because I used to feel the same way as you, Tammy. Well, and it's like, it is what it is.
I'm not going to stop. And it's just like, okay, when is it going to start? You know, because I'm not going to stop. But, you know.
I know. Yeah. Look, I know it's really general, but it'll start when you believe it's possible. And the other thing too is gratitude as well. And I know, again, I kind of call this stuff fluff and stuff, but it does work. If when you're grateful for the hardship, and you could just say, look, I'm grateful for the past, but that no longer serves me. All right. But what most people do is they say, oh, I'm grateful for the past, but that really annoys me. Do you know what? I'm done with it. I'm angry. I'm over it. All right. But when you can just be grateful and say, I'm grateful for the past, and that no longer serves me. But when you bring gratitude into it, it just moves things. And another word I really like too is grace. Like, so when you bring grace to something or wonder to something, and when we see other people being successful around us, most of us then judge ourselves when they see that success. We're not actually truly grateful for someone else's success. We say that we are, you know, and we kind of display that character, but in our own personal thoughts or that conversation that we have with our best friend, we're actually kind of a little bit jealous and envious and kind of overwhelmed by that. And you've got to look at all these factors.
Why them?
Yeah,
you got to look at all those factors. Mind trick.
And once you release all those factors, that's when it gets easy, and it's just in the flow. Then go around the problem, not through.
Yeah, it's also being aspirated by a lot of loss that I've had too. So it's like, why do I have to go through all this other stuff when I've already gone through all this? So
because
you're in a growth cycle and self-awareness.
That's always the pattern, isn't it? So if you look at your parent, like, just kind of reflect on experience in your life. Let's go to your parents. Was it tough for them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's still
okay. So let's go to your grandparents. Was it tough for them?
One more than another. I really don't know that much about my my dad's side. I don't really.
Yeah, but you see what you're doing here is you're replaying this story. Like, it's your frequency and your vibration. If you can identify, so people are in like, I'm in a 3-year cycle. I was in a three-year cycle. So every 3 years something kind of traumatic will happen. All right, and then my longest relationship was 9 years with somebody, which is a cycle of 3, like 3 threes. All right, but I identified that in my childhood with my parents, with my grandparents. And then one day I said, I don't want to be that. I don't want to tell that story no more. All right, so this is what you're doing. You're repeating their story. All right, and once you identify that energetically, you just need a new story. And I know it's difficult because all the physical evidence keeps you in that pattern. All right, but even if we change the language around that too, if we say it's not difficult, if it's easy, you just got to tell a new story. And then eventually those moments of freedom get, they're more visible and they come quicker and things will move on. It's just about faith, but it's about action as well.
That's what I'm struggling with too, because some of my my business is online, social media, and it's hard for me to put in words that. I mean, I know what I'm an artist, and it's easier for me to put things in an art form, but for me to put in words is very hard for me to do. And I'm always looking at other people's posts and stuff of my same type of business to try to take from them so I can try to tell my own story, because I don't have the words to put it in, So
yeah, look, and so I'm just going to come back to.
All right, we have. Yeah, but I need you guys to either wrap up, or I'm going to put the event. Where are you, Tammy? Where are you located? You're in Ohio? Well, you're not that far, depending. He's going to be right south of Philadelphia in Wilmington, Delaware for almost 2 weeks, and he's going to have 2 events going on here. So if you want to go to his website or reach out to me, I can put you guys in touch too offline. So, and Simon will be back for a few more of these blabs coming up. So I'm sorry, go ahead, and then we're going to have to kind of move through the list.
Okay.
So, Simon,
I'm just going to say, I think that you're in control of everything.
Okay.
Like, I'm listening to you speak, and I understand that you got to put your business head on, you got to write, and it may not feel right to you, but we all got to do this. We all started somewhere, and we've got to keep evolving. I can only encourage you, but it's about courage and it's about taking action. And I think you just got to kind of act,
So,
but yeah, look, thanks for Thanks for talking to me, and
okay.
Take care, Dale.
Okay.
And Tammy, connect offline, because Nancy and we can probably, help push you forward and share you with some people. So thank you so much, Tammy. All right. Sorry about that, Simon. Okay. So, Buzz off wanted to, Matt D. Sells, North Carolina. Looks like he wanted to ask a general question and just sort of reading, but, I think that,
let's just change the theme of this. Let's get people to ask questions about working with spirit or healing, rather than doing readings and stuff, rather than doing, let's just shift them across to that. And I got to tell you too, my voice is starting to go a little bit. I've got a flu, and so I don't know how much longer I can have a voice.
Okay, yeah. So sorry, guys. Simon is sick, and he's going to be doing this again on Monday at, I think it was 2:00 Eastern. So assuming he still has a voice. So if anybody wants to ask specific questions about spirit and how it works, like Daphne wants to ask a question about a friend who died, that might be a good time for you to explain that process, Simon. So do you want me to bring her in and you can sort of talk about how that works in spirit and how spirit brings you messages?
We can have a talk.
All right, so Daphne. Okay, so Daphne, if you want to do the seat. Okay, Daphne, here we go. So she should be coming in. Hi, Daphne. So you had a question about a friend who died, and I want to use that as an opportunity for Simon to talk about how he communicates with spirit and how his guide Gegu and others will
Thank
will
you,
connect. So
Maya. Hi, Simon. How are you? A couple.
I'm good, thank you.
I think it was either 2011 or 2012. I reconnected with a very close male friend of mine. He was my first, and we had lost touch. We went our separate ways, and after many years we reconnected, and he was ill and in the hospital, and one day I called him to see how he was doing, and he said, yesterday when I saw the door open, I thought that was you, but then when I looked, it was the nurse. I need to talk with you about something important, and you are the only person I can talk about this too. And because I was going to go to New York City this Saturday to the funeral of my friend's daughter, I told him I would see him on Saturday when I came. Well, unfortunately, Saturday came, but he was not around because he died on Friday. And I still struggle with what it was he needed to talk to me about.
Well, I'm not sure if I'm not sure. Did he? So just let's talk about it.
Explain your process too while you do it, Sam.
Yeah,
Simon.
I'm just not sure what he wanted to talk about, but I'm just kind of locking into. So when he died, was it in the evening? Was it the dark hours?
I am going to speculate on that because when I call in the morning, he normally goes down for dialysis. However, I called about 10 o'clock in the morning. I didn't get him to answer the phone because they said he was going down for treatment. However, I was not restful during the day, and I kept calling. When they eventually brought the news to me was in the PM, around dark. So then a friend picked me up.
So just let me just. Yeah, I'm just curious about that because I was going to say six. I was about to say 6:14 as a time, 6:14. So I'm just very curious about that, and because I asked if it was nighttime because I know the room's dark. Like I feel like when he died, the room was dark. Now whether that was just because there was no light in there. But that's what I'm doing. The other thing too is that he keeps on fiddling with a coin, like something round, like a coin in his hand. But I don't know why he'd be doing that, right? But I'm just tapping into his personality. But specifically, what he was going to say to you is, I'm not quite hearing exactly what it is that he wants to say to you. I was just very curious about that. Right? I think there's some regret there in his life. I think he has regrets, and I think he's impatient as well. And I can smell maybe whiskey or something, or it's something that is in a shot glass. So I'm curious about the years that he wasn't with you, because if he's not a shot glass drinker, I wonder who that would be beside him. But that's what I keep on going to. All right, the time 6:14, the shot glass, the whiskey smell, and then whatever it is.
Yeah, one of his close cousins that is about his age is an alcoholic and still is, and that was something he was always concerned about, Keith's habits, and used to talk. And Keith is still alive and is still an alcoholic. So my friend never drank.
So I'm just very curious about that. So who's Marvin?
Who's what?
Marvin to this man. Marvin.
I can't recall right now, Marvin. I'm not sure right now.
And I can hear a bar with his jazz music as well. So I'm just curious about that as well.
Right.
That it's connected to him, the jazz music, Marvin, and all that. Look, he's fine, but I don't know specifically what he wanted to say to you. The reason I know it's fine is because he's got a hand on my shoulder. All right. You know, like, so he's kind of tapping my shoulder. He's got an arm around my shoulder, and he's saying that everything's okay. All right. He had regrets. You have regrets. He's saying there's no point.
Yeah.
Like, there's no point with his regrets.
Yeah.
That's what he knows now when he's free. There's no point having regrets.
Yes.
All right. Like, he's free. Like, he's just free.
Yeah. Because.
All right.
Yeah.
No,
yeah. Because.
Freedom.
All right.
Yes.
Daphne, thank you. If you're in the area, are you around New York?
I'm in Connecticut. I have one more question. Can I do it real quick? Yeah.
Real quick, because I've got a couple of people and he wants to talk about how the process works.
Business wise, I want you to check my business for me, please, Simon.
What's your business? Tell me what your business is.
Coaching. Personal development coaching, yes.
Are you struggling with clients?
Yes.
Like numbers of clients? Yeah. Is the business over? Like, is the field over-serviced? Is there too many coaches? Is it over-serviced? Like, I think there's something I know it's really tough, but there's something unique you got to bring to this, and you may not be bringing that uniqueness to it. You know, you may not be attracting those right clients. All right, but the other thing too is
I feel like she needs to be doing some mentoring in the community. Like, that's going to get her the exposure and gets the clients.
Yeah,
direct outreach.
I know it's kind of weird, but
because I also do local cable TV, online radio, and I'm thinking whether that's the area I need to focus on and to teach other people how to attract the right guests and the interviewing style. Because intuitively, that's the format I use to do my dialogues and conversation.
Well, I mean, if that's where you've had the most success, and you spoke about, but as far as the coaching is concerned, I don't think that's a unique enough package to attract a large clientele. I know it's a tough thing to say, but that's what I see.
No, because it's like people are getting results, but when it comes to invest, then it's another story.
Yeah.
And although I've been doing the other ones for so long, I've not monetized them. So now in 2016, I'm saying,
monetize it. Go with the podcasting and go with the radio and teaching people that needs to be done. So, all right, Daphne, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Come on down to Wilmington and see Simon. Thanks.
Yeah.
All right. So I know your voice is going. And so April.
I'm just going to.
Well, April,
let me just say something.
What are your thoughts about grounding and is it necessary? So go ahead, Simon. You talk, whatever you want.
Yeah. Okay, just before we get to, because I did see the grounding question out of the corner of my eye, but when you get stuck in this, I understand that people always have so many questions and there's this kind of feeling that we must get answers on that. What people want is not the same thing that Spirit want to share. It's a really big disconnect. People come to me and they want something from me, but that's not what we should be talking about. That's not what Spirit want to share. Spirit want to share memories and connecting and their story and the evidential and accurate information, right? And Spirit want us to get on with the job, right? Because we're not getting on with it. 100%. Like, you could say that to everybody. Like, come on, just move forward.
All right, well, there you go, Simon.
Very powerful message.
Your platform and whatever Spirit wants to say, the people are listening, and it's being recorded. So,
Well, that's great. But let's go to the grounding stuff. No, you don't. I get frustrated with the grounding thing because we're already grounded. If the idea is to be grounded in the Earth's environment, we're already here.
So wait, can you explain though that what does April mean by saying grounding? Is that like, saying a prayer or something?
Well, I think if you have a personal prayer, I think that's fine. But I think a lot of stuff has got to do with faith. I think there's a lot of things about working with spirit and energy healing that come back to faith. All right, and some people need their faith strengthened by saying a physical prayer. It gives them a sense of being, secure or safe. But a lot of people have said to me about grounding as in being, have you connected to the earth, like the earth's energy? A lot of spiritual people say, have you connected to the earth's energy? Have you brought in that? Well, we're already connected. We were never disconnected. So in that aspect, you just turn up. You see that a lot in kind of formatting, like healings. A lot of people say, "Oh, do you have a certain process?" And I suppose I do. I have a kind of a thing that I do, but it's nothing that's said. Like you got to be a paramedic. You got to do a healing anywhere. I mean, I've spoken to a lot of healers, and I say, "Oh, that they can't do a healing because that's not the right time of day. It's not the right location, or there's bad energy here, there's bad energy there." I'm just like, just let's get on with it. We can just do a healing, which comes with like faith and confidence and all that. But I personally, I don't think we need to get stuck on the grounding stuff. I just see it's irrelevant.
Get on with the healing. You're here. It doesn't matter about any of the particulars. Yeah. Anything can happen anywhere at any point in time. Yeah, exactly. All right. So, April says, did you see she wants to rephrase the questions? What do you do to protect yourself when feeling overwhelmed like she was before? Like, I mean, I know what I do and what I tell other people to do. What do you do? Because a lot of us are empaths and don't realize it. So suddenly we'll feel, and maybe I'll just give the advice I gave to my daughter because she's empathic, and that is, find what is your comfort in. If you start feeling overwhelmed or emotions and you don't know where they're coming from and there's no justifiable reason for them to be from within you, then you are picking up on someone else's. So try to find a way to just focus back, and that's not internal. And, for the people that are learning, something that brings you comfort, or almost like sometimes I'll almost imagine like a shutter going up over my head, and that seems to help to block it. So
I just recognize that I'm in control. I just make the distinction that I'm in control of my level of comfort. And you can be empathic, and you can receive information and be very sensitive to that. But it's gonna work with us and trigger. It's gonna trigger emotional responses in us. We can't feel fear without, we can't be empathic to fear without having fear. Yeah. It's gonna be lifting. When we're crying for others, we're crying for ourselves. We just haven't recognized that that's been the trigger. All right. And then when you kind of settle that and reason that, then everything is fine. Yeah. It's just going to say, well, this stuff doesn't affect me. Like I'm in control on how that's been received.
Well, Simon,
and that takes discipline.
How do you, no, totally. But how do you feel about sage? Because I find that sometimes when energy seems to be getting out of control in my household or around me, if I light some sage, it seems to do something that almost cleanses the environment and sort of calms everything down.
Well, I think, well, again, I don't use sage, or I don't do anything in particular, but any belief system that we have, like the very first person who used sage, and their intention was to cleanse the environment, it creates a frequency. Gotcha. Right? And then someone else uses it, and it creates a frequency. And that energy thread gets stronger and stronger. Right? It's like a Wi-Fi connection, it's a massive information that gets stronger and stronger. Right. So the more people who believe that it's possible or believe it, we're actually creating it to be accurate. Right? We're creating this. Right? So it's like healing. The more successful healings that I do, the higher the chance that I'm going to have more success. But I'm actually creating a frequency for everybody else to tap in as well. All right. So the cleansing stuff, yes, it works, but it works because it was our initial intention. We had the intention that this was going to work. The very first person that picked something up and did a smoke ceremony or something. There's a lot of psychology in that.
Oh, totally.
So it just builds. It builds and builds and builds until it's possible. So all these things work. If it works for somebody, then I think they should do it. I personally don't do any of it, but if it works for people, then, I agree that they should just go to do it.
Now, Simon, I know your voice is going and you sound strained, so I'm going to let you go soon. And I know other people have a lot of questions, so I apologize, guys. Simon, really, I just felt like we probably should have canceled because you said you had a flu. But real quick, do you, for people that are overwhelmed, for people that have abilities or are told, like Jojo said earlier, you're crazy or whatever, when they know things, and since it really is taboo for the most part in the United States, I think that if you asked 100 people in a room if they believed in, extrasensory abilities, I think most of them would say yes, but I'm a skeptic. I'm a skeptic, but I experience it. How can people focus or get, I've heard people say, if you want the gift, ask your God, if you believe, or universe, or whomever. I'm not going to judge. People can believe in whatever they want to believe. How do you recommend that people focus on developing and refining their natural abilities or the abilities they want to learn or grow?
Well, I think, wow. Okay, so, my story, what worked for me was to meditate. So I meditated with the intention to connect to spirit. Now, thankfully I had Gedju there, and so he was very, very guiding and supportive. So when a lot of images, which I call static, he would just say, don't bother about that. I'm seeing something, but it's not real. It's a mishmash of information. And he goes, well, don't worry about that. Just let that slide. Right? And then, of course, you have these conversations in your mind, and then you question, am I talking to myself or spirit talking to me? Right? But I need to say that, and most mediums will do it the same way. So there's times when the conversation, it is in your mind. It's all about the mind. It is there, and sometimes it's your voice talking to you, but you just identify that it's spirit, and that comes with self-assessment and self-awareness. So I think we've got to develop self-awareness first, and especially when emotion comes in, we've got to recognize that we're in pain.
Psychic attacks.
So if we got 100 psychics and mediums together at any level or profession, I always guarantee that 95% of them have had very emotional, traumatic lives. And we kind of haven't dealt with that stuff, but there's part of that experience that kind of breaks down that veil and makes that connection open. But to refine that, I think you have to heal. I think you have to identify why you have, the things about you that are hurting, the stuff you're holding on to. Because you're interpreting information. You're a filter for the information. If your personality or your emotions aren't settled, then you're going to give the wrong message. You're going to
interpret it. Well, and that's part of the thing with spirit, is that when you get communicated, I find this, I don't know if this is the same way, when I'm getting messages, it's what I know. So it's they have to relate whatever the message is to something that I'm familiar with. And so therefore we can't really try to interpret it. We just have to relay it. And it might be, okay, Swedish fish, yellow curtain, it makes no sense, but to the person receiving the message, it will make sense, right?
Yeah, and I think, that's like spirit speak. Everybody has spirit speak. There's something that we tap into, but I think what I learned to identify early on was I said to spirit, I want it accurate. I want it to be 100% true. And and my guide said to me, "Are you sure, my son?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I'm sure. This is what I want." When I was sure, that's when they gave it to me. But then, of course, are we ready to hear? Are we ready to hear that? Are we ready to see those tough truths or that that terrible stuff or that because that all comes with that. You can't have the rainbows and unicorns without the difficult stuff.
You got to have the unicorn poop too.
And I think, yeah, and but it's all got to do with identifying your own personality. It's about being self-aware, and meditation is the greatest way to do that when you're communicating to spirit. And don't immediately assume what you're seeing is right and accurate. Like just be steady and just ask the right question and think about why you're asking the question. Because it's always the simplest message is the right one.
Yeah.
We don't have to talk this long. The simplest message is always the right one.
But that's where it goes back to your comment before about the self-awareness and understanding yourself, is because if you have a certain view, if your mindset is just a negative one or a paranoid one or they're out to get me kind of thing, then everything you experience as a clairvoyant or claircognizant audience is going to have that taint to it. So even trying to bring messages in or get answers or ask questions, like you said, it's going to have a taint. So becoming completely self-aware and owning everything that you are, good, bad, indifferent, petty, we all have moments, and letting it go is the best way to sort of purify your energy and your being so that you can grow, evolve, and find peace. Because I think it's all about inner peace in general.
Yeah. Well, I believe so too, like, I think that you do attract, the message is built on your personality. So you attract those initial experiences in. So in the early days when I'm doing healing, so, maybe I'd get a kidney disease, and then I'd have a fortnight of people coming with kidney problems, and then the next week it's something else, and the next week it's something else. Well, we're going to talk about emotional stuff. Normally the emotional stuff that people came with was my own personal emotional experience. Mm-hmm. So I already have the toolbox to help them, because I've had a lived experience of that. But if I haven't been able to help myself, it's going to be very difficult to help anybody else. And the other thing too is you just got to get out of the road. I mean, I ask my guide about this all the time, like how to improve, the healing or how to improve the evidence. Right. And he just says, get out of the road. All right. So I'm a trance medium as well. And I mostly do my best work when I'm just not even, I just fall into it. I'm just interactive and I just drop into it.
Well, translate get out of the road into American for me.
Yeah, get out of the road. Wow.
Well, I mean, like, what are you, like,
I don't know.
High traffic or like literally in the middle of the highway type of thing?
Yeah, you just got to, step aside and give them control. You got to surrender your control of your mind and everything. You got to allow that experience without any fear.
Wow. Yeah, that's hard. I'm a control freak. I can't.
You have to be fearless. you just have to be fearless. And look, I'm not. And it's a tough thing. I'm not saying that I don't have moments of doubt. I'm not saying that I don't have emotion, but I understand my doubt. I understand my emotion, and I recognize it. But when I'm working with spirit, like I do think I am fearless. I do think I am, out of it altogether. I'm just like, let's go.
Yeah. Bring it, spirit.
Just hang on just hang on for the ride,
Yeah. All right, Simon, your voice is so strained. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Look, you guys are so awesome. Thank you, Simon, so much. I'm so excited. So Simon is going to be in California at the East West Bookstore in Mountain View near Palo Alto and the whole Silicon Valley. So any googly types over there. And then Simon will be with us here in the Wilmington, Delaware area. And we're just outside of Philadelphia. Really easy access from DC, New York, Boston, everything. Hey, Amtrak's right here. And he will be taking a little journey down to Virginia, but you're not doing any events there. And we may, if we get more requests, be able to take a shot up to New York City. But when you are here, we have 2 public events on March 6th and March 13th in Wilmington at the University of Delaware's Wilmington campus, which is really easy access off of 95 and about 20 minutes from the Philadelphia International Airport. So if anyone's interested, those links, I'll put them on Twitter and we'll share them again on the blab. They're in the conversation here. We did record this, so if you want to see it as well. And then Simon's taking off to Toronto. Do you know where you're going to be in Toronto? Because I probably need to get those links and share those.
Yeah, I'm actually going to be in Hamilton. So I have that detail. I'll put that detail up on my website. I got a few updates to do on my website because that's all been confirmed. So I've been to Hamilton before, and I did an event there. I'm not doing an event this time. I'm doing 5 days of bookings. Yeah, and that's true too.
While you're here, you're going to be doing bookings. So if we get a lot of interest from different areas, we can take you there. So from where you're going to be in Wilmington, you are central to Baltimore, to Washington, D.C. Easy access to anything around the Chesapeake, up to New York City, Connecticut, Boston. Amtrak and Acela come right through here. So if anybody wants to book with you, they can go to your website or they can reach out to me and we'll set that up so that you've got your bookings coming in March and you'll be in our area in and out from March 5th until March 20th, correct? and then you take off to Canada.
Yeah,
so,
like that, yeah.
Simon, thank you so much. It was a pleasure. And everybody, you might feel a little warmth, and Simon's healing is really powerful. So, if you do, don't freak out. He will be back with us, hopefully, if your voice permits. And so sorry, I didn't want to strain you this much, Simon. But I'd say everybody was really excited. And I know a lot of people have other questions. You can book readings with Simon. He does do readings and healings over Skype. So you just have to be able to be in a quiet environment so that you can lay down to focus on that healing energy. So do go to his website, simonhay.com, and you can book directly there for a session. But otherwise, Simon, thank you so much. I know it's, getting towards mid to late afternoon on Valentine's Day. So I hope you have a lovely Valentine's Day. Spend some time with the family there. And we're excited to see you really soon. Right, Nancy? Nancy's out there too. Yeah,
look, I'm excited. I'm excited too, and I just want to thank Maya for organising this and everybody involved. I loved interacting.
Yes, thank you, Simon. Thank you guys so much for joining us. So we'll see you hopefully on Monday. Simon, rest up. Have Gegu give you some healing. Cheers. All right, guys. Thanks so much. This will be recorded and posted. So otherwise, we'll hope to see you again. Have a great night. And Simon, have a great afternoon.
Thank you.
All right. Cheers, guys. Bye.